I think for game 6, Minnesota's going to win. And then game 7 is anyone's game. I'm not going to put the game audio in here. I'm going to just have my voice go over this. But look at these plays, man. Jaden in transition quickly. The defense, he gets the game ball MVP. Look at the defense. Quick, good stop right here from Ant. Pull up 3 in transition. Yes, they blitzed them in the first quarter. We're going to get to all of these possessions here. Then right here, Cat gets the post up. Great pass quickly to Gobert. That's great teamwork. That's why they were able to go up by so much in this game. Then you have Naz Reid here, 6th man of the year. Gets to his post up. Look at that footwork bucket. This is why Minnesota is a different type of team. And then lastly, you got the Nikhil pull up. Let's get to the video, man. What's good, y'all? Good morning. Minnesota officially has forced the game 7. First off, I want to say I did not pass out yesterday. I stayed up. I watched the game from opening tip. Game 6 after the embarrassing loss in game 5. A lot of people counted the Wolves out. A lot of people were talking about Rudy Gobert being a bad defender because Jokic had 40 points. A lot of people questioned how good Anthony Edwards could be after he didn't play well. And in game 6, Minnesota played arguably their most complete game of the series as a unit. They blew Denver out by damn near 35 points at that rate. And it got to a point in the fourth quarter where clearly the game was over, but you love to see them have emphasis from the first quarter all the way through. This is the first time that I've seen Denver held to under 60 points through 3 quarters. That's literally what we saw this Wolves defense do. And it's why a lot of people thought the Wolves could overcome the Denver Nuggets and succeed. If you go back to my series prediction, I had the Wolves in 6 games. I did not think Jamal Murray was going to be moving the same way that he did. But I can't lie to you. No one saw the series going the way it did. If I told you before this series started that the Wolves would steal 2 games on the road, then lose 3 games straight, 2 at home and 1 on the road, and then force a game 7, you would say that is literally the most fairy tale type of series. But that's where we are. Okay? Jamal Murray got clamped last night. I'm sorry. Anthony Edwards put his foot on him defensively. Also, offensively, Ant was going for it. He wasn't settling. He was getting straight to the cup. All of that. And because of those efforts, we are now officially at a game 7. Before I get to the reviews, I got to give you guys my player of the game. I didn't do that for last game. Let's do that for game 6. The player of the game to me by far was Jaden McDaniels. His defense in the passing lanes, the defense on Jamal Murray, but more importantly, his offensive explosion, taking 4 threes, making 2 of them, attacking closeouts, getting downhill. You saw the most complete version of McDaniels. He looked like a beast out there. Also, I want to give a lot of credit to Karl-Anthony Towns. I know he only had like 10 points, but if you watch the game, this might have been his most impactful game in the series. And I get that he had other games where he had 20. I understand how good game 2 was, but in a game 6 of this magnitude, the playmaking chops from Cat was there. Cat literally elevated Gobert. And again, go back to the last video. We spoke about this, right? With Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert operating in 2-man actions, Cat can make Gobert more of a threat. And the way that Cat was using post-ups efficiently and getting to the basket and passing, he just played a very, very complete game, had 13 rebounds, and also defensively, he was great. He finally was not in foul trouble. He didn't pick up Nikola Jokic 94 feet. He left that to the guards, and he played his game. Also, from the Wolves, what I love the most about this game as well is they made sure to stay disciplined. They did not let Jokic get those easy short roll looks as much. They toned those down. They fought through the screens a lot to get to Jamal Murray, and they were in his jersey the entire night. Also, Mike Conley. Shout out to Mike Conley. I said this again in last video. It's crazy how so many of these things wound up being true. Minnesota needs to win the math battle. It just has to happen. And I feel like Mike Conley coming in, hitting 3 threes, he made a world of difference for that team and exactly what they could do. So I think that matters to a significant extent. I think that without his efforts in the game, they wouldn't be able to win or look the same way. But I will say, watching this game, again, Denver starts out on a 9-2 run. So a lot of people said, oh, is that the series? 9-2 run, it's not great. Then they explode to go on a 25-9 run in real time. We saw some great stuff from them, exploding in that type of way. Again, getting out in transition, turning defense into offense. Anthony Edwards with his pull-up threes were backbreakers. Also, Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming in, hitting big shots. You saw this Wolves team play to their full potential in Game 6. And Denver missed a lot of wide open shots, but also were contested very well by this Wolves team. I think Denver had like maybe 2 points at the most off their bench. Their bench was not really productive in this game. They only put up like under 85 points in this game, which is crazy to say for the Denver Nuggets. This is Denver we're talking about. The Denver Nuggets could not put up 100 points. And guess what else is funny? For all of the games where Denver has not scored 100 points, it's all been one common denominator: Rudy Gobert-led teams. I'm just saying, since y'all wanted to shit all over him and say he wasn't DPOY, this and that, well, they fix up the scheme like I said that they would, and Jokic was nullified. Jokic was not a great productive player to his standards. He was far from the 40-point, 12 assists, no turnover guy that we saw in the last game. And he's a great player. Again, you don't stop great players like Jokic, but you slow them down. And to me, Cat and Gobert did a great job of being physical, showing that they could be in his airspace and really containing him. Now, I know I'm talking fast. Again, I got work today. I do these videos in the morning, but the point of the matchup is we're now at a Game 7. At this point, both teams have made adjustments throughout the series. I think for Minnesota, cutting off that Jokic short roll is key. Living with Aaron Gordon perimeter shots. It's weird because the variance is on and off with him. But again, I think if I have to die to Aaron Gordon having 30 points or 25 points off of perimeter shooting, I'm going to die that way. I like their game plan in Game 5, which they lost. They kept it in Game 6. They blew them out. This comes down to shot making. I'm sorry. When you reach a Game 7, the level of adjustments that you can make, it comes down to execution, foul trouble, elite shot making, rotations. That is what a Game 7 comes down to at its fullest extent. And Chris Finch, to me, outcoached Mike Malone in Game 6. We got to see what happens in Game 7. I'm super excited. Have not seen a Game 7 of this magnitude really since, I would say, Warriors Rockets, in terms of in the Western Conference, who's going to be like the powerhouse that comes out. Game 7s, it would date that far. So I'm excited. These are big moments. I think for Cat, this is a chance to get that monkey off of his back and show that he can be a winning player when it matters most. He's had a shaky up and down series, but he played well, even though, again, he only had 10 points. If you watch the game, his impact was felt. For Rudy Gobert, this is a guy that people routinely love to hate on because of his lack of offensive greatness, even though that has nothing to do with his defense, which is why he was on the team in the first place. These stigmas he might be able to overcome if they're able to have success. So these are all things that I'm looking at. These are all things that I'm completely making sure to contextualize in the scope of the sport. And I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. Basketball is in a great place. That Game 7 is going to be bonkers. But I will be remiss if we did not address the potential closeout game tonight between Dallas and Oklahoma City. So big shout out to Denver and the Wolves. I will be doing a film breakdown on Playback probably later today at some point. So tap in. Again, links will be there. Playback is free. You can come in there free and watch me break down film and watch games. If that floats your boat, tap in there. But transitioning to that series, yeah. Dallas and Oklahoma City has been a great series. I really feel like Mark D took too long to adjust, and I feel like that really hurt him in terms of not making the right rotation for the Josh Giddey minutes. He brought in Isaiah Joe, which I understand why he would think to do that because of the spacing, all this and all that, but I feel like in this upcoming game, you got to get more from Chet and you got to get more from J-Dub. Chet was 1 for 5 from 3, and I love that. He has to shoot those threes. He has to be active with his shot attempts. Again, 8 shots or 9 shots for Chet is not enough. They got to get him going downhill on switches way, way more. I think Chet could be a much bigger mismatch problem for Dallas than what he's been so far in the series. He really needs to stretch out that front court to make them think twice about playing double bigs. I really think that's key. Also, for the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic has not been the best player in this series. The best player in this series has been Shea. SGA has been terrific for the majority of this series, but Luka stepped it up in a big, big way and looked like the MVP Luka we saw from the regular season. So if Luka can maintain that for the rest of the series, they should be able to win. But with this injury, we don't know. That's up in the air. Also, Kyrie hasn't had like a strong performance like he had in the first round versus the Clippers. He hasn't had that yet. What if Kyrie saves that for his upcoming closeout game? There's just a lot of questions. What we do know is OKC is a young team. They don't have veteran players. So this is a very serious and impactful moment for that team and what they can do. So I'm excited to see what that turns into. Again, big, big game. I will be watching that tonight. Shea down the stretch, and I believe game 4 really showed his value, making great decisions. If the game is close in this closeout game tonight, it's going to come down to their decision making between Shea and Luka and their teammates hitting shots. That's what it comes down to. So I'm excited to watch that. I wanted to give y'all this quick rundown before I head into work today. But I got to tell you, man, I'm standing on my hill in terms of the Denver and Minnesota series. Yesterday, I said that Denver should be favored, and I think I would have picked Denver. But I'll be honest, Denver is favored to win. I think Denver's probably going to win. My pick is Minnesota. Okay, I like the team. I've stood by the team for a very long time. And I think the fact that they forced a game 7, they give themselves a good chance to fight back. I think beating Denver 3 times on the road is insane in any type of playoff series. But if there's a team to do it, it would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. So yeah, basketball wise, I think Denver winning at home makes a ton of sense. But I'm going against that. This is a homer pick. I'm being homerist. I'm going to be honest. I got the Minnesota Timberwolves. But y'all let me know in the comments who y'all got. Also, let me know tonight if OKC can extend the series to another 7-game series. Y'all let me know. But as always, I will catch you guys in the next upload. Make sure to like the video, all that. We've been going crazy with the consistency podcast and all that's coming back soon. Lock in, people. I'm going to catch y'all. Have a good one. And remember, appreciate basketball because these moments, we don't get too many of them. Lock in. Peace out, people.